Hey everyone, happy Thursday or Friday, Junior. I'll be opening a bottle of wine shortly. Finished trading for the day, and welcome back to the Small Account Challenge. So the Small Account Challenge on Day Trade with Tony. I am, of course, Tony, and what I'm talking about, it's day trading. So trading the US stock market, the NYSE and the NASDAQ, trading equities or stocks and shares on the NYSE and the NASDAQ. And today we've had a really good day, both on the main account and on this small account as well. So the idea was that I would grow the small account 5% daily up until we get to $30,000. So that once we get to $30,000, that's my standard monthly starting size of an account, and I grow that throughout the month, take the profits, etc., etc. So the idea is that 5% daily is what I would consider a relatively conservative ask for a small account. You still have to be relatively aggressive. You wouldn't be looking for 5% if you had $1 million in your account. Quite frankly, you'd be looking for 5% if you got $5,000, but not if you got $500,000. So when you take into account that on this particular account, I can get up to 6 times leverage or 6 times margin leverage, then a $5,000 account gives you $30,000 worth of buying power. 1% of $30,000 worth of buying power is $300. 5% of a $5,000 account is less. It's $250. So a 5% growth day over day, I feel is more than realistic. And the idea of doing this challenge is just to prove that. Now, the last time I did a small account challenge, I grew it. I was really aggressive. And when I did it last year, I got called out on the basis that it was how quickly could I get to $50,000, and we did it within the month of February. We actually finished the month of February at $78,000 or whatever it was, and I got called out on that. And how I got called out was the guy that called me out. He basically said, "Look, you can afford to trade like that, aggressive like that, especially if it goes for you. But you can afford to trade aggressive in that manner when you know you've got a large account in reserve. You know that if you blow up the account, that it doesn't really matter to you." Now, I wouldn't say that it doesn't really matter to me, but I kind of understood where he was coming from. So the whole point of doing the small account this time round was to be conservative with the growth expectation and stay true to what I say to everybody, which is what I class as my mantra now, is when you're trading, you get in, get green, get to goal and get out. Once you don't overstay your welcome. Of course, you trade the trade that you're in, complete the trade, and there's no need to go back for more. Occasionally, you'll find me doing that, getting a little bit greedy when the opportunity arises, but looking for the right setups. So what did we trade today? We traded Ocean Biomedical, and this had a good catalyst. It's a recent IPO from last week, and it had a really good catalyst. It started to move up yesterday. And then it moved up over 450% today. So I didn't trade the whole move on my small account, but I got the largest part of the move on my main account. Spreads were wide, the risk was huge, so I didn't kind of learn my lesson from yesterday on the main account. So and go back and watch the trade recap later in terms of on the main account. I may still trade it later, but we'll see. Right now, I'm done trading on the small account. We finished $2,625 in profit. Now, we started the day with just over $12,500. $12,597 was our starting position on the day. So we've managed to grow 21%. That's more than 4 times goal. So 5% is the goal. We managed to do it 21%, so it's more than 4 times goal. So $625 was the actual goal today in numerical terms, and we're $2,000 more than that. So a really good day. One trade. We traded predominantly pre-market, and then we got it was gap and go. It was a gap and go candidate. It did exactly that. It gapped up, came into the open, and then when it broke the pre-market highs, that's when I looked for the second portion. Got in, quick scalp, got out and traded it on the main account after that. So let's look at how we've done that, shall we? Okay. So it's moving yesterday. It moved from kind of $3 up to over $6. So it made a $3 move yesterday. It was a nice big move, green move yesterday. It was a recent IPO, and it had 4 days of selling off on the markets. And then yesterday it had news, and it started to make a move up. Today it had news again, and it just took off. It had news of a cancer treatment catalyst, positive news on a cancer treatment, lung cancer treatment at that, and that was the catalyst for why it moved up and moved up so well. So as it started to make its move up, I would say yesterday it finished just over $4.50, and it kind of closed out at $4.81, I think was yesterday's closing price. So it was already moving up, it was gapping up, and it broke the VWAP here. It had a big spike, and then it broke the VWAP. Then it started to make its move up. We get this break of $6. We get the pullback, and I get in for the break of new highs. I'm able to ride that up, take a little bit of profit, and then take another bit of profit here, and then it just shot up. And I added for the break of the $0.75. It pulled back at that stage. But what I didn't mind that, because what we actually got was this beautiful bull flag setup. So I knew that this was all right. More often than not, these break upwards. So I got in. As this broke upwards, I added to the position. I was about 2,500 shares here, and as it broke upwards, I added to the position, and it faked me out, flushed back down again. But I just held it through, because very often when that happens, it's the wider move will come off. So kind of look for the new highs here. When it did break new highs, that's when I took some profits. It started to pull back a little bit, and I took some profits there. That was me done trading for over $1,000 up at this stage, but that was me done trading on the small account pre-market. But as we came into the open, as you can see here, we're above the VWAP. We'll get them, as I say, yesterday it closed at kind of 480 or whatever it was. So we're significantly gapping up for the open. It moves up at the open, a little bit of a pullback to the VWAP, and then it takes off into a halt. It resumes higher, so it gaps up on the resumption, pulls back. Now I'm adamant that I'm not going to jump in and chase this momentum. I want, just because it's gapping up, and I could see it was gapping up on the level 2 and the level 1. So I can see it was gapping up with the information on the montage. But just because it's gapping up doesn't mean you're going to get the continuation. Very often it will gap up, make a move, and then flush back down. So just because it's volatile and it had a volatility halt doesn't take away from the strategy. You still wait for that pullback and the confirmation. So that's what I did. I waited for the pullback. We got the pullback, and then it started to make its move up. As it broke highs, I entered, got a really good fill at 8.21. I entered for the break of the $0.25, and then I got a fill at 8.21, and I took some profits here. And I took some profits right up at the top. As it pulled back, I put a stop in place. It was a trailing stop, but it didn't trail. I just got stopped out there, and then it pulled all the way back down. So okay, that's fine. I'm done. I'm over $2,500 and change. I'm done for the day on the small account. So I wrapped up the small account, switched over to the main account, and I thought, okay, are we going to get any continuation here? So it did pull back, kind of filled this gap here that it did, and then it started to make its move up. And I traded it on the large account. But just to put this into context, it moved up 450%, over 450% today. So this was yesterday. The dotted line was yesterday's closing price. Coming into the open, we were already gapping up. And then this is where we traded it at the open. And you look how bad. So I managed to get some of this on the main account. So go check out the replay on the main account. I'll tag the trade replay on this account to the back of this video, and then you can add in the comments down below or whatever it is. But ultimately, you tell me what you think of the trade and everything else. So let's talk about what that does to the account. I mean, let's bear in mind that we started on the 17th of January with just under $2,500. So what does that look like now on the small account challenge? Where are we? So small account challenge here. We've got February open here. We've got, let's have a look at January there. So all green trades there. January, all green. It's not the largest day I've had, but it's not far off. So my biggest day was at the start of the month, 3,200. So this is basically looking for 5% growth daily, being very, very choosy on the trades. So where does that put us on the challenge? So over $15,000, nearly $16,000 in gross profits, which is kind of phenomenal. But what you've got to take into account as well is that there are fees and charges, as I mentioned previously, commissions, ECN fees. The larger the size that you take, because it's on a per share basis, ECN fees end up being the largest part of the charges that you get. There's SEC fees, FINRA fees tend to be very small, but commissions and charges, they do eat into your profits. So whilst we've made nearly $16,000 in profits, I won't be starting with $16,000, even though we started with $2,500 on the 17th of January. So let's put that into perspective. $2,500 in January plus the 15,800 in gross profits. You'd think that I would have close to $18,000 in terms of or over $18,000 in terms of the equity position. I'm going to be starting tomorrow a little over $15,000. It's cost me the big end of $3,000 in fees and charges so far in the 6 weeks that I've been trading this small account. So it just puts it into context, if you will, that you realistically you need to budget in terms of fees and charges, commissions, etc. You need to budget that in your forecast as well when you're trying to grow your account. This is one of the reasons it's really difficult to try and grow a small account, because you think, okay, I've made $50 and you've taken like 4 or 5 trades, or depending on the fee structure of what it is, and you're only like $20 in profit. So you've got to take that into account before you even start a small account. Realistically, what's your expectation? Then what do you have to do to hit that expectation after fees and profits? What's the net goal? Don't just set yourself gross goals, but what's your net goal as well? So that's essentially where we are. Nearly $16,000 in gross profits. We've now increased the average daily gain over the course of the challenge to $750. We're doing around 10% daily so far. We are a little over 10% daily, actually. We have great win-loss expectation, kind of 4-to-1. We've got a great accuracy on the trade selection, it's actually better than 4-to-1, so approximately 4-to-1. So as far as I'm concerned, we're kind of 5-to-1 or 6-to-1 on the expectation. The K ratio in terms of risk reward, and you can see that from the equity curve here, how relatively smooth it is. We've got a couple of drawdown areas, but it's relatively smooth, upwards, really good direction. So overall, we're doing really well. If I put what it is in February, just February alone, the largest part of that, and that's to be expected, because the incremental gains, the compounding effect of that 5% daily, and making bigger gains, might only be looking at 5% of a $2,500 position, would have been $125. 5% of a $10,000 position is $500. So it's a sizable chunk bigger. So that's why February accounts for the majority of the profits, because as we grow the account, the expected growth per day becomes larger. So that's called the compounding effect of growing a small account. So I'm enjoying the small account challenge this time around. I'm just because I've got the main account as well. I'm able to trade the small account, practice the mantra of get in, get green, get to gold, get out. And anything after that, I'm just trading on. I'm being a little bit more risk averse on the small account, and I'm just trading the larger account. But if I just held the position on the small account today from when I entered it pre-market, and I think I had about 5,000 shares at one stage. Right, so it's 5,000 shares at $6.50, and it went up to $26.50. So there was a $20 move. I could have made $100,000 in theory on the small account. Of course, I'm not going to, like yesterday with LUNR, you never know if they're going to go parabolic, and when they do start to go parabolic, you don't know how long that's going to last. And I mean, 453% gain on an individual on a day for a stock that's already over $5 is a tremendous gain. So yeah, happy with the small account growth. Doing it again tomorrow. I'll be trading on the small account again tomorrow. I'll be an hour before the market opens for pre-market trading, and the first 90 minutes of the market after the bell rings. So come join me then. I will leave you with the recording of this trade on the small account. Enjoy. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Come join me tomorrow, and we can discuss the trade in more detail. I can talk you through it in more detail if you want to. And in the meantime, just smash that thumbs up button for me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the trade replay. Take it easy. Take care. That's a nice move, that one, Job. Neither. I'm actually in Island Blaze. Just gonna lock it a little bit in there. Let's get some money on the board. This is the small account, by the way. So today's goal is $630 today. This is the small account. Started today with just over $12,500 on the account. The idea is on the small account, the idea is to grow it 5% each day, on average. Now, we've got, of course, going to be days where I'm not trading, there's going to be days where I'm $620 I'll get out. Fine, a bit of resistance up at 630, around 3 attempts at 630 now. Whether that's coiling and we get a nice breakout, I don't know, but it pulls back. Right, below 620, anything below 620, I'll get it. There we go, over 630. 635 on the ask. I'm just going to hold this position. See if we can get to goal on our first try, shall we? There we go, 650. There you go, that's how it's done. So we're already over goal on the small account on our very first trade. So 5% is what we're looking for, which essentially was 625. So 25 bucks over goal on the... What stocks am I looking at today? I've just traded Ocean Biomedica, and now I'm looking for another entry on this one. Wait for the pullback. There's a nice little micro pullback. Right at the top there, that's not really what I wanted to do. Okay. Pull back, I really want it. What do I think I'll have at the end of 30 days? Probably about anywhere between 15 and 20k, I would imagine. We're very surprised. We're up to 20. What's day? 27 today. We've got 3 more after today, which is effectively the end of February. So we've got tomorrow, 27 today, 28 tomorrow, 29 and 30 is next week. So the end of February is 30 days of trading. So probably. We'll probably have, well, hopefully have about 20k in there. If I told you that, then it'd be like stock picks, wouldn't it, AM? I did indeed, Blaze. I wouldn't let any Irishmen see you write that either, AM. That's your first warning. You're welcome to contribute, but as soon as you start trolling, you get muted. We'll break any more lows. So the low of this is 63, so I'll get out at 50. I'll get out at 50. Nice little flag setup, this. Just added to the position for the flag breakout. Now looking for retest of highs. Oh, or a sell-off. Well, that was a bit of what's known as a fake out. You get the flag breakout, so you had the full flag breakout there, which is what I was waiting for, and it moved up, didn't break the highs that we were looking for, which was 675. Current high day is 688 on the initial spike up. Who's losing money on 650 quid up, you moron? Do I pay myself a salary? Not officially. Because if I pay myself a salary, then I have to pay income tax on it. So I trade within the company and within the company coffers and pay myself a dividend. And I pay most of my living expenses. I pay through, it goes through the books, so it can offset it against tax. Why does truth hurt there, yeah? Spreads are a bit wider than I want at the moment, 5-6 cents. There we go. See, that's the difference between me and you, AM. Okay, you being a moron and all, is that if I get a fake out breakout fake out like I did there, it doesn't mean that the move's dead. It just means that we've got a bit of a fake out. So it doesn't mean you sell for a loss. You can hold through that and knowing full well that the buying pressure's coming later. And that's what I've just done there. So the buying moved up and I was able to get an extra $400 on that move. So given that the goal today on this account was 625, I'm already 1,000 up. I'm not exactly losing, am I, you moron? So this halted. Should resume any moment now, any second now. Look at that gap up. Wow, that's a big gap up. Big pullback too. Next pull upwards will be 93, 893, so 20, 825. Yes. The trailing stock got stopped out, but I just made an extra 1,600 bucks on that, so that's the small account. Happy days.